I'm Spider-Man.
It's finally here! Ultimate Spider-Man for the next generation! And I missed the mark. Issue 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man dropped the exact day I started a 4-day trip to Pennsylvania with my friends, so that's why this video is coming out so late. I've mentioned it before, but the original Ultimate Spider-Man comic is one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. So hearing that the title is coming back, I want to be able to journal my thoughts every month so I can look back at these videos in the future and remember what it was like and who I was reading this comic run. This is genuinely something special to me, and it's so cool that I've been here day one for this new Spider-Man. That's enough chatter though, let's get into what led to this comic coming out. I read issue 1 of Ultimate Invasion, but stopped after that because issue 2 was low-key boring as hell. But I also read issue 1 of Ultimate Universe, that's just the name of it, it's just called Ultimate Universe. They're not required reading at all. Iron Man's hologram kinda explains everything perfectly. The maker, aka Reed Richards from the original Ultimate Universe, aka one of the coolest current villains in Marvel Comics, created a universe where there's no heroes, kinda like that one scene in the Teen Titans Go movie. We even see this world's Peter Parker at age 15 when he was supposed to get bit by the spider, but the maker prevents it from happening. Some time passes and Tony Stark's satellite gets hacked and shoots a giant laser into New York, killing Aunt May, Norman, and Emily Osborn. And you'd think that Aunt May dying now means that Peter is without a parental figure in his life. But then the official Spider-Man Instagram account posts the reveal that Uncle Ben is alive the day the comic comes out and spoils it for you before you get to start reading it. Thanks a lot, asshole. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah, issue 1, Ultimate Spider-Man. I gotta say, Peter looks sharp as hell in this comic. This is how I'm trying to look like in my 30s. The Parkers must be doing good for themselves too, because look at these nice ass rooms. I know MJ's gotta be the bag getter out of the two of them. Anyways, we get a nice little introduction to the Parker family. The son Richard seems like quite the bookworm. The daughter is named Mayday, which makes me really happy. I'm glad to see the legacy of Spider-Girl in this, even if she does look different with the red hair instead of brown. And MJ is pretty MJ in this. We don't get a lot with her right now, but she gets a bigger scene later on. And after that is the Uncle Ben alive reveal. I gotta say, Ben and Jonah have such a good dynamic in this. I'm already so invested in their story. They both quit the Daily Bugle to start their own newspaper, and I'm so ready to see what they cook up. Peter and Jonah share such a sweet moment together where they talk about Ben while Jonah gives Peter his tie. We get a memorial for the Stark satellite thing where a powerless Matt Murdock and Harry Osborn speak. But what's going on with Peter? It feels like he's been taking a backseat for most of the comic while we meet everyone else. Well, later on in the comic, Peter opens up to both Uncle Ben and MJ about how even though he has a beautiful wife, a nice place, and 2 children, he feels like a part of him is missing. He's always felt this way, and now he just knows he's right. He knows something is wrong with him, and now he finally knows what to do. But what is it? What does he have to do? Well, earlier we find out that Peter got a hologram from Ultimate Iron Man, who explains the whole Maker situation to him and leaves Pete with a metal orb carrying a radioactive spider. Uncle Ben and MJ both support Peter and tell him to wake up and go get him. And with that, our new Spider-Man is born. Goblins, redheads, newspapers, existential crises. This run starts off with such a bang. I have to commemorate the creators for keeping Uncle Ben alive in this. It's such an obvious choice for another reimagining of the webhead, but I feel like I would have never thought of that in a million years just because of how connected I am to the original source material. I'm interested to see how different a Peter Parker that doesn't get his powers until he's in his 30s plays at being Spider-Man. I also think that Peter's whole guilt that he carries with him, feeling like he was destined for something and growing up not satisfied with himself, is a reflection of how many millennials feel.
He's a millennial. That means they're the, like lost generation.
Me personally, I'm a Gen Z kid, and I still feel for Peter's struggle about feeling like there's something wrong with him. He's in his 30s, working at the Daily Bugle, but he seems like just another journalist there. When there's a big meeting going on about editorial restructuring, which has the Kingpin there, by the way. Pete doesn't have a seat at the table. He's told to keep at his desk and lay his head down. He definitely only has his job there because of Uncle Ben. When Ben and Jonah quit the Bugle to start their own paper, Peter's absolutely bamboozled, gobblesmacked that they would do such a life-changing move in one afternoon. This is a Peter that's been living his life very safely, and in the shadow of the adults in his life. He's probably a little bitch made. But what's also so crazy to me is, becoming Spider-Man so late in the game, Peter has so much to lose now. My first and only prediction I have so far is that after Peter becomes Spider-Man, he might lose his job, money will start getting tight, and they'll have to move out from that fancy-ass crib. I don't expect them to live in that place for long. But that's really all I wanted to say about Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's see, what else came out recently? Oh, I read the new Transformers issue. The Skybound run so far has been really impressive, especially with its depictions of the characters they use. Optimus especially is already a character I like more than not only the old IDW Optimus, but also pretty much every other current rendition of Optimus that's out there. The Decepticons in this are absolutely insane. Not only does Starscream casually blow up a hospital, but Jesus. The scene where they rip apart Skywarp is so morbid. Also, I was really happy to see Jazz again. I don't know when was the last time Jazz appeared in anything, but he shows up for like 5 seconds and then goes back into stasis lock. And I gotta talk about it. How do you feel about going on the offensive? Instantly a classic scene. I've already seen so much fan art and recreations of this page on social media. I love what this comic is doing. I'm already ready to see this in a movie or a TV show. Things are looking bright for both Ultimate Spider-Man and Transformers, and for one, I couldn't be happier.
The Transformers will return after these messages.